The New Year address of respected Kim Jong-un was reported in Uruguay and Brazil on January 22nd and 23rd. The Uruguayan newspaper La Juventud carried a part on national reunification from the New Year address under the title, Marshal Kim Jong-un referred to the issue of national reunification in his New Year address for 2013, illustrated with a photo of the 3 charters for national reunification memorial tower. CX 36 Radio Centenario of Uruguay also reported of the same content. The Brazilian Committee for Solidarity with the DPRK posted on its website the part on national reunification from the New Year address under the title, Reunification of the Country is the Supreme Task of the Nation. Jimmy Kikoni, General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of the Democratic Congo, made public a press statement on the 19th in support of proposal for Korea's reunification put forward by respected Kim Jong-un in his New Year address. Foreign delegation heads admire the firm unity of the Korean army and people around respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. The head of the delegation of the Nigerian National Committee for the Study of the Juche Idea, the head of the delegation of the International Union of Agricultural and Foodstuff Workers, and the head of the delegation of the Nepal International Committee for the Study of Sungun Policy for Peaceful Reunification of Korea said, Kim Jong-un is printing uninterrupted footprints of devotion for the prosperity of the country with his unsurpassed wisdom, original leadership ability, and ennobling virtues. They pointed out that the world progressives warmly praise him as gifted military strategist and leader of the people, and expressed the belief that Korea, solid with perfect unity of the leader and people, will shed lasting rays as a citadel of independence, as an invincible power. South Korean people of broad sections are greatly interested in the news of revolutionary activities of respected Marshal Kim Jong-un for the people, saying true to benevolent politics, all-embracing politics of the great Kim Jong-il, he is giving top priority to the people's interests. In articles of different titles, including Understanding of the Kim Jong-un Era, South Korean media reported that his features as the leader loving the people are becoming clearer in his field guidance. The South Korean internet newspaper Jasu Minbo, Yonhap News, Hangyeore, KBS, MBC, and other media and people of different sections said that the reality of the North gives clear understanding of the politics of the Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un, and it is too natural that the people in the North highly praise and sincerely follow First Chairman Kim Jong-un as the incarnation of love and Supreme Leader of the party, army, and people. Participants in the 4th meeting of secretaries of cells of the Workers' Party of Korea laid floral baskets and bouquets before the bronze statues of the great leaders Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il in the Kim Il-sung Military University and the Ministry of the People's Armed Forces on the 27th and paid respects to them. Participants in the 4th meeting of secretaries of cells of the Workers' Party of Korea visited Mangyongdae, the birthplace of President Kim Il-sung, on Sunday. They also visited the Revolution Museum of the Ministry of the People's Armed Forces, the National Gifts Exhibition House, and the Museum of Arms and Equipment of the Korean People's Army. Secretaries of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea visited the lodgings of the participants in the 4th meeting of secretaries of cells of the Workers' Party of Korea on the 27th. Kim Gi-nam, Cha Tae-bok, and other officials visited their lodgings and inspired them, who contributed to the strengthening and development of the party and the prosperity of the country, and asked them to connect the masses with the Workers' Party of Korea more firmly and discharge their missions and duties as the standard-bearer of revolution, standard-bearer of struggle, in carrying through the lines and policies of the party unconditionally in the future too. Respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, true to the idea of the great Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il on attaching importance to youth, sent his autographic letter, prosperous future will be brought earlier by dynamic footsteps of youth, or was straightforward following the party on January 26, Juche 101 or 2012, encouraging the Korean young people to display their might of Seongun-spirited young vanguard. Inspired by his letter and greatest love and trust, the young vanguards across the country have fully displayed the stamina of youth in national defense and the building of a thriving nation over the past 1 year, burning their hearts with Kim Jong-il's patriotism. Youth League officials and youth and students across the country have prepared more than 1,600,000 sincere articles of 65 kinds and planted over 160,000 flowering trees of good species to keep solemnly the bronze statues and smiling portraits of the great generalissimos Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il and monuments to their immortality in different parts of the country. Graduates of secondary schools in Gangwon province and great number of other youth and students across the country joined the Korean People's Army last year. More than 1.94 million young people petitioned to join or rejoin the Korean People's Army when the South Korean perpetrator Lee Myung-bak and his group committed hideous provocative acts against the dignity of the supreme leadership of the DPRK. On the occasion of the Youth Day last year, more than 3,100 inventions and new technical innovation proposals, including hundreds of IT goods, were presented to the National Youth Scientific and Technological Achievements Exhibition, and many scientific and technological achievements have been introduced to production. More than 9,200 young people fulfilled their 3-year, 2-year tasks under the National Economic Plan last year, while over 87,000 their yearly tasks ahead of schedule on a nationwide scale. Officials and people in North Hwanghae Province and Kaesong City of Korea sent aid materials to service personnel of the Korean People's Army. Officials and workers of institutions and enterprises of different levels in Sariwon City, Kumcheon County, Pyeongsan County, and other cities and counties have prepared a lot of aid materials with parental feelings. Receiving the aid materials, the service personnel of the People's Army made a pledge to resolutely defend the respected Supreme Commander Marshal Kim Jong-un and demonstrate the might of powerful revolutionary army of Mount Baekdu in the sacred national defense. Officials, scientists and researchers of the Scientific Research Institutes of the DPRK, after hearing the statements of the National Defense Commission and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, expressed indignation at the sanctions to be applied by the United States and its followers, slandering the peaceful satellite launch of the DPRK. Lee Ui-gu, Vice President of the State Academy of Sciences, Lee Juk-sun, researcher of the Central Agency of Energy Science and Technology, and others stressed that the successful launch of man-made Earth satellite is a great national event that put the dignity and honor of the country on the highest plane, and victory of the peaceful space development plan recognized by the world. They totally rejected illegal resolutions adopted by the UN Security Council and expressed readiness to reliably guarantee the building of a prosperous nation with greater successes in science and technology. The U.S. imperialists plan to deploy 2 more B-2 strategic bombers at the U.S. Air Base on Guam Island near the Korean Peninsula. The nuclear-capable bomber is known as a means of aggression for a surprise nuclear attack on the depth of the DPRK in case of contingency of the Korean Peninsula. They plan to finish their deployment by early next month, announcing that the stealth bombers are typical reinforcement planes that can carry out the task of precision strike on the major targets of the DPRK. The Afro-Asian People's Solidarity Organization and the Nigerian Group for the Study of Seongun Policy recently issued a statement in support of the memorandum of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the DPRK. The statements extended support and solidarity to the Korean people in their just struggle to remove confrontation between the North and the South, implement inter-Korean joint declarations, and solve the issue of national reunification independently with the concerted efforts of the Korean nation.